What's up everybody, Rob here, back with another episode of Wasting Wildcards here on Malta 5, and today I am running a different Collected Company deck, and if you couldn't tell already, it's Merfolk. So Merfolk is a tempo deck, it's an aggressive deck. If I had a sideboard built out for best of 3, you could theoretically make it more of a controlling deck, but our specific build is a very, very aggressive tempo build. We're running almost exclusively creatures, and the only non-creature spells we're running are Collective Company and 2 Censors. Censors strictly there when people tap out for something like a Nissa or an Uro or a Muxus or something like that. Other than that, it's just a cycler. So seemed like a pretty low cost for a counterspell in the deck. I wish there was like a Merfolk enter the battlefield counter a spell type thing that would make this deck so good. But other than that, we got the full suite of kind of the best Merfolk to work with. The best of which being Merfolk, I always say Merfolk Reejerey, but it's Merrow Reejerey. He is a old card, not in the Pioneer format, but brought in during one of these historic anthologies, and he's a Merfolk Lord, but also gives the ability to tap and untap permanents. So this is great because you can untap your opponent's permanents, or tap them, most likely tap them, like creatures, so you can just get in for more damage. But on your side of the field, you can untap lands, which will let you play more Merfolk, especially if you have like your 1 and 2 drops. But it also can untap like a Kumena, which would let it kind of tap, untap, and make multiple creatures not be able to block. There's a couple cool, fun little thingies you can do with the tap and untap ability. Other than that, Merfolk Trickster, another all-star, can come down, turn off Lord's abilities, can turn off things that get value from like things in the graveyard. Just a great overall creature. If somebody makes constructs with Karn, you can just kill them because they're 0/0s. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff. We've got 2 1-drops here. Benthic Biomancer can draw you a card and will get a little bit bigger. Kumena Speaker is just a 2/2, and when the Lords come down, it's much bigger. So you can attack for 3 on turn 2, which is always nice. Silvergill Adept is kind of our most constant source of card draw. Just comes down, you show another Merfolk, you draw a card. It's awesome. Merfolk Trickster, we already spoke about. Deeproot Elite, not quite a Lord, but helps you grow your team. And yeah, and it's a permanent growth too with counters, which is always nice. Mistbinder is your 2-mana Lord of choice, considering it's the only 2-mana Lord in Historic right now. So you definitely want to play it. And then Kumena serves kind of just like your utility big dude. 2/4 is nice, it's just on a blocker level. And then it has all these tapping abilities. So if you're kind of on a stalemate board, you can tap a couple things, draw cards. You can tap your whole team, put a counter and everything, and then just make trading and combat trickier for your opponent. And you can also just tap something to make it unblockable. So say it's like a 4/6 at some point and your opponent's pretty low, you can start making them unable to block, and then you can get them for the win. So there's a lot of fun little tricky things to do here. Mana base is pretty standard, Simic-y. I have a couple Hashep Oasises. Again, if I have like an unblockable Kumena, make them real big, get in for the win. But other than that, yeah, it's just we hope to collect a company into some big things, and other than that, we've got a nice little curve anyway. So let's see how we do in the best of 1 ladder. All right, so here we are with game number 1. We've got a nice little 1-drop, 2-drop Lord setup here. So we're definitely going to keep this one. So it's a Lurrus deck. So probably the Rakdos Lurrus deck if I had to guess. So let's start with Kumena Speaker, because this will be a 3/3, so it'll at least be a little beefy next turn. Can easily attack through that. So we will actually, So I'm willing to trade this anyway, but since we're missing our land drops, I'm going to play Silvergill Adept, and I'm going to reveal the 1-drop. Hopefully we draw a land. We do not. Okay. Well, let's get in. We'll totally trade for Young Pyro. So the one major weakness this deck has is a bunch of tokens. Something like Young Pyromancer or anything else. Like once they have a bunch of blockers, unless we can get our guys all built up with our Lords, it's pretty rough. All right, so we have a pretty Thoughtseize-proof hand there. Sweet, so we got our land drop. So unfortunately, gonna have to hurt myself again. We'll play our Biomancer and our Mistbinder. So they'd have to use 2 tokens here to not, or to trade. So Merfolk Trickster is really good against Young Pyromancer. You can kind of turn off its ability to start making the board go crazy. Luckily, their board is not super out of hand. I was playing against a mono-red Pyromancer Phoenix type deck, and they had like 9 blockers on turn 4, and it was just impossible. And I'm not running that one Merfolk that makes your things with counters unblockable, just because it's a 4-drop. Can't hit it with company. All right, well, there is a company. So here, we could adapt 1, try to hit our land drop. Maybe that's what I want to do. Or I could play Kumena, tap things, but I think I want blockers. So let's activate the ability. If we hit a land, that'd be great, because we can play the Mistbinder. Okay, so we hit the land, and I think the Trickster is good against Pyromancer, but I think right now it's the card I want least. Alright, so we'll attack in. They'll have to trade a lot of things for a profitable thing. Obviously, they could cast something, making a couple more. That'll do it. Draw a couple cards, make another token, replaces itself. Oh man, the Rakdos Arcanist deck is so sweet. So much value. Alright, I mean, that doesn't feel great, but once again, like I said, when they go wide, that is just the worst for us. So they're probably going to play a Kroxa here, making us discard the Kumena. But we got a company, so we can hopefully recover. They've done a lot of damage to themselves, so goodbye, Kumena. Alright, so we want something that we can start tapping some things, and we need to get pretty aggressive here. So let's actually just start off by collect accompanying 2 pretty low impact Merfolk. At least, yeah, one gets to draw us a card, which is okay. We have to hold back. A Merfolk Reejerey would be a pretty amazing draw for us here. That Kroxa is really just going to put us on hold. This is a fun combination. They're going to be able to fame that guy up, cast anything from their graveyard this turn. Probably killing our Lord. If they have a kill spell. Yeah, they got a Spark Harvest. So the Spark Harvest, again, just kind of like the Village Rites, like the combination with that and Young Pyromancer is just so nice. So the Arcanist is going to be a real pain. So I think, honestly, we just want to trade here. They can lure us and just bring it back next turn. Ooh, okay, so let's start by drawing a card. Hey, what do you know? That's a pretty lousy card to draw. And I think we're just done. So, you know, we held our own for a little bit, but turns out, yeah, one of the best decks in the format continues to be one of the hardest decks to beat. Alright, I can't speak. Alrighty, here we go. So here we have the choice of going like 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. We got this awkward temple. I still think we keep it. So let's start by playing the Kumena Speaker, and then next turn we can go Biomancer into Temple, and then from there we can kind of choose what we want to do. An island. Interesting. Okay, I think we're good with our lands. So let's just attack for 1. Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, well, I'm just punting out all kinds of punts here. So we want an island for this fella. So let's start by attacking. Looks like we're up against mono blue tempo, probably. So we can see which tempo deck is the one to beat. So let's start by playing Benthic Biomancer. Cool. And then we'll play Silvergill Adept. So either way here, they're going to use a counterspell, most likely, but we can still get value off of the Biomancer, which is nice. I wish this wasn't if you control the flyer, because, boy, with this deck like that. Alright, so let's start by scrying. Don't want that. Alright, so now we'll attack. I'm just going to play Kumena here because I'd like to drop more counter spells, and if they counter it, we got a backup. My other option was to adapt and draw, but my opponent is really getting mana screwed, which is unfortunate. So I guess we just attack again. I will activate this. It can be bounced, which would be rough, but if they decided to bounce it, we'd just be able to cast one of our things. So hey, we'll discard another Kumena because we got a backup. So here I'm just going to play Deeproot Elite because if they do have another counterspell, I would rather have Kumena. So really just trying to draw out as much counter spells for my opponent as I can. Looks like they're looking to bounce it or something like that. Oh, they're playing a Merfolk Trickster of their own. So, I doubt they're playing Merfolk, because they're running Lofty Denial. Yeah, of course, they're just playing Mono Blue Tempo. And they're still whiffing on the mana. I don't think I have anything to worry about as far as one-mana counterspells go. What do I want to make bigger? You can only adapt once, right? Yeah, okay. Or what does it say? Whenever one or more. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're drawing multiple cards, guys. We're doing it. And we're going to discard the other Elite. And we'll get Kumena. And we're going to draw another card. Oh, wait. Then I got discard. Aw. I should read things. And you know what? Let's just pump the team up. We're playing against Mono Blue. We got nothing to worry about. No sweepers. I guess I'm just gonna continue drawing and discarding, which is fun. Alright, so now... Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, draw a card. The best thing they're going to be able to do now is just bounce my things. But if they only have 2 mana, they're only going to play 1 spell a turn. I feel a scoop coming up. And you know what? I'm not going to say I'm a psychic, but I'm totally a psychic. So against Mono Blue, this is actually probably a pretty good deck. If this ever becomes a bigger part of the meta. Which, you know, honestly, running that many counterspells against stuff like a Muxus deck or even Salt, it seems like an okay choice. I don't know how it handles against things like the Mono Black Godpharaoh's Gift deck or, I don't know, just some of the other aggressive decks. It's never been great against Mono Red or anything like that, which is kind of always around. Seems like it might be pretty bad against like the Sacrifice decks or like the Rakdos Arcanist deck, just because they can, once they kind of stick a threat, they also don't really care when stuff's in the graveyard and there's shocks and all kinds of stuff. This is a bad hand. We're going to mulligan this. This is not a great hand, but it's definitely better, so we'll keep. We'll keep 1 Temple. Gives us a turn 1 play, and then we got untapped sources from there. What are we working with here? I don't really want an Elite. Against a red deck, I'd rather have like either a counter or a Collected Company or Lords. Forgotten Cave. So, potentially Goblins? Okay. So here, I think I'm just going to draw a card and get a 2-1 on the field. Next turn, we can kind of double spell or just play the Reejerey, but I think... actually, depending on what we're playing against. Okay. So I think I probably just want to double spell, actually. So let's go Harbor, Speaker, into Mistbinder. So now we can block small things. Chain Whirlers aren't going to kill anything. So, I mean, technically this could still be goblins, but they haven't cast anything else that usually goes along with the goblins. They haven't played many burn spells. I'm intrigued. Is this some kind of historic chonky red or something like that? All right, well, let's scry. Let's try to smooth out our draws going forward. Again, always looking for a collected company. Or more lords. I think against a mono red deck, you kind of just want as many Reejereys and Mistbinders as you can get. My opponent's really thinking here. I guess they do have the opportunity to shock or kill something, and yeah, an elite not quite as powerful as you'd like. So another Reejerey. If they want to kill something with a 3 or 2 damage spell, that was the time to do it. Alright, so we'll bash in here. Not sure what they're running. A Braid, okay. Cycling again. Almost seems like they're running some kind of mono-red mid-range deck. Wouldn't be surprised to see a... Okay, a Terror of the Peaks deck. Alright. So, Merfolk Trickster, very good in that situation. So we're going to tap down the Terror of the Peaks on the beginning of their turn. That way, they're not going to be able to get any value off its ability. If you're unfamiliar, basically when they play stuff, it deals damage to stuff, and that is never a good time. Okay, another Chain Whirler. That's not going to kill anything, though. Ooh, Kumena's nice. I think we might just have it here. Do I have 12 damage? Or I'm very close to 12 damage if I don't. Definitely taking that action. Play Kumena here. Try untap one of these lands. That'll let me adapt if I need to. I'll just adapt. No, I don't want to adapt. Because I don't have a card to discard. What if I get the Dream? Oh, Mono Red Devotion. Holy shit. Shit. I did not see this coming. Okay. That's nice. That is spicy. I did not see that coming. I have nothing I can do here. Let's just for fun, we'll adapt. Oh man, Mono Red Devotion, that's rad. You love to see it. You love to see it. You love to lose to it. Especially with Terror of the Peaks, that's a lot of damage. Maybe I have to build Mono Red Devotion. I didn't even know Fanatic of Mogis was in Historic. Was that a reprint in Theros, or did that just come out in one of the anthologies or something? That was... I did not see that coming. That was a spicy meatball. Alright, they go first. We got 2 colors of mana, and we got ways to draw cards and stuff. That's probably a keep. Black Stitcher Supplier. Alright, so either Arcanist or Godpharaoh's Gift, and those Chupacabras make me think it's Godpharaoh's Gift. That's terrifying. That... oh man, that deck is so good. What is it, Crypt Breaker, Crypt Ghast or something? I don't know. That's unfortunate. An early priest. Do we just hold up Censor here? No, we want Censor for later. Deeproot, yeah. So we need to hit some land drops. And Censor is going to be pretty key once they can start casting their big things to get the God Pharaoh's gift. Okay, Crypt Breaker. Yeah, they're going to be able to draw a lot of cards now. Okay, so they can make 3 mana here. So they could get a gift to the afterlife or whichever that little artifact is out already. Okay, Woe Strider. Oof, and we don't have... Ugh, I could cycle this. We need to... I think I have to do that. Pray for a land drop. We got that. And then maybe we just pass and we hit the priest at the very beginning of their turn. So they could sack their stuff in response to the trigger. Okay. So they can't get priest value this turn. They got a big, thick Fiend Artisan over there. Do I trade here? I don't even know. This is weird. I think I trade here. That's going to be an issue. That's a big blocker. Ugh. This deck is so scary. Because not only can it do crazy powerful things, but it also just goes super wide. And when you go super wide, it's very hard to win with like a creature-based deck. Especially when they have things like Fiend Artisan. They can just say, oh, gross, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. You know what? I think Merfolk might not be a top-tier deck, everybody. I think we might lose this. So I'm going to, once again, beginning of their turn, we're going to collect a company. Hopefully we hit something impactful. I don't think we did. Well, we're going to lose, everybody. That was unfortunate. All right, let's do one more game before we fully write off the Merfolk. I wonder what other... So mine is very creature dense, but I'm afraid if you introduce too many counter spells, which I feel like is what it needs, then you run the risk of just... You whiff on your company more, and you just play this kind of awkward tempo game where with decks like that, you just saw, they just go off. And then you got stuff like this Mono Red Devotion. I didn't even know that was a thing. We might have to build that. I did not know Fanatic Amogus and Chain Whirler. Those are good things. We're gonna mulligan this just because it's not a great mana base. I mean, we could just start beating down with these, but they don't have an island to get pumped up additionally. This is better. Definitely better. It's slow. It's very slow. They're playing Gigantha, which makes me think, yeah, Mono Red. Well, at least we got a 2/2. I gotta cast something to make him bigger. Probably just shock it here. Or Pillar Flame, make me able to block. Okay, make me want to block, but I'm not gonna. Play the Reejerey. Hold back to block. Once again, check out that YouTube channel. It's great. Okay. Burnspell.deck. Okay, so draw a card. Hopefully their hand is not just 1,000 more burn spells. Okay, so we have blockers for hasty threats. Hopefully we draw more land before they start killing us with their land. Ooh-wee, this is stressful. think we, before combat on their turn, tap down the Pyromancer. I'll gladly take a trade here. Tap down the Pyromancer. Still hurting for lands. Okay, so we are dangerously close to dying. But we got there. Hey, everybody. We beat Mono Red. That's what happens when you don't do your math and you're playing decks with Lords. You just win sometimes. So I think what my opponent was doing is probably right by just throwing all that burn at my face. But I actually think if he was killing my creatures and then do it, because one Pillar of Flame would have killed that, and then he still had additional ones, so he would have gotten in way more damage. I think that was probably a suboptimal play on my opponent's part, and that's coming from me, who is the lord of suboptimal plays. This is kind of an awkward hand, but I'm gonna try it. You know, we haven't really done much with these elites yet, so let's see if they can get the job done. We're gonna kill ourselves with these deserts, but what are you gonna do? Our opponent, very confident in their goblins. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna draw a card. Hopefully it's a land. It's tap land, but it is a land. We'll get rid of our other elite. Play the tap land. We want another land. And we can't get through a snoop. Snoop. Blech. That's a Muxus on top. Krenko's annoying, but luckily it doesn't have haste. So next turn it can tap, make some stuff. They might not have Muxus yet. So let's actually, do we get aggro, or do we hold back a company? Or do we company now? But then they could, I think we company now. And we can tap, or we can just get big. Let's get thick. And we'll just draw cards. I kind of want to keep some of my cards though, so let's get rid of the island. And now we can safely attack through the Krenko. And next turn we can bash in for a lot. Let's see, tap for 2. Okay, so they can lord out a bunch of goblins here. I think we might actually have this. Ooh, I think we might have this. Let's play another Biomancer. We'll draw a card, or we'll loot. It's not just a pure draw. Untapped land is not what I want. Let's go another Lord. We'll loot one more time. Discard him. Play another big boy. Spread the love around here. So they have the block. They're going to take a lot of damage. So we still have some blockers, which is nice. They don't have a huge board yet, so Krenko's not doing a ton. They still don't have the mana they need to cast Muxus. Oh, they had a tap land! Oh my god, they had a tap land. So they can sack... They could make goblins, sack... Yeah. Or I guess they're just sacking the Snoop, I guess. What are they going to fetch with the Matron? I don't think they can do much here. Like, they can make 3 blockers next turn, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. I think I got this. Oh my gosh, we beat the goblins. All right, everybody. So when your deck works, this deck is okay. And you know what? I don't think I gave enough credit to Deeproot Elite. The combination of Deeproot Elite and the Biomancer, that's nice. That's a nice looting banana. I mean, yeah, we also had 3 lords, but being able to loot constantly is real nice. So I think with the upcoming dual lands, with the new like flip spells, I think the mana base is rough for sure. This is a shitty mana base. So I think with an increased mana base, obviously more Merfolk Lords would be great. I think a sideboard would help too. Obviously, best 3 give you more options to kind of get around problematic cards. So yeah, when your opponent goes wide, it's very hard to beat them. But I think better cheap counterspells is what this deck needs. Maybe another cheap Lord, like Lord of Atlantis, if that ever comes in, would be awesome. Or just, you know, some more powerful 3-drop hits. We could do things like play Jadelight Ranger or something like that to kind of smooth out our mana, and it also gets hit by company. But I think the selection of creatures I have now, they're pretty good. I mean, Kumena Speaker is kind of just to get some damage in early. This is probably the most replaceable of all the Merfolks. But yeah, I think just like 1 or 2 better counter spells, maybe 1 or 2 different Merfolk, and just a better mana base. In this deck, I think there's some potential. Like, just being able to disrupt what your opponent is doing while also killing them is what Merfolk does best. And I think that would be pretty awesome if we got those things. So yeah, if you have your own take on historic Merfolk, let me know. I'd love to see it. Always down to see what people are playing. But other than that, thank you all for watching.